All right, so I have to borrow or I have to regroup. So I go over here and I go to this 1. Now it's going to be a 0. Okay, now this, I have to add the 12 over 12 to it that I just took from that 1. How did I know it was 12 over 12? Well, I know that the bottom of the fraction is going to be 12, because that's what the bottom of my fractions are. And to get 1, I have to do it over 12. Because we know 12 over 12 equals 1, right? And that's all I took from this. Now, to find out my numerator, I have to add the 9 and the 12. So 9 plus 12 is 21. Now I can subtract 21 minus 10. And I get 1 over 12. So I get 11 over 12. That was question number 8. All right. Let's go down and we're going to look at question number 9. Number 9 is 8 7/8 minus 2 4/8. Do I have to regroup on that one? That's all I'm looking at is, do I have to regroup? So I've got 7 over 8 minus 4 over 8. Do I have to regroup? No, I don't, because the 7 is bigger than the 4. So I do not have to regroup on number 9. All we're looking at is what we have to regroup right now. All right, number 10. I've got 4 and 5 over 10 minus 1 and 9 over 10. Do I have to regroup? If I've got 5 minus 9, do I have to regroup? Yes. For those of you that don't understand, I hope you're following along, because all we're talking about is which ones we have to regroup. So number 9, you should have written no.
Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, for number 9, you should have written no. You do not need to regroup. For number 10, you should have written yes. You're going to have to regroup. Number 11, you've got 4 and 1 over 8 minus 1 and 4 over 8. Do I have to regroup? If I've got 1 over 8 minus 4 over 8, do I have to regroup? Yes, because I cannot subtract 4 from 1. All right, please mute your mics, guys. Number 12, I've got 6 minus 2 and 4/5. I do not even have a fraction beside that 6. So can I subtract 4/5 from 0? No, so I have to regroup. So let's look at these now that we know if we have to regroup or not. So on number 9, you had 8 and 7 over 8 minus 2 and 4 over 8. We said on this one that you do not have to regroup. So all I have to do is subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3 over 8, because I keep my denominator the same. The only thing I subtract are my numerators. And then I subtract my whole number. 8 minus 2 is 6. Okay, when I do not have to regroup, I hope you're all getting this. This should be pretty easy to you. Let's look at number 10 where we do have to regroup. 4 and 5 over 10 minus 1 and 9 over 10. Okay, 4 and 5 over 10 minus 1 and 9 over 10. All right, can I subtract 9 from 5? Can I subtract 9 from 5? No, I can't. So I have to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from my whole number. So my 4 becomes a 3. Okay, what did I borrow from that? I borrowed a whole 1. So if my denominator is 10, what is my numerator? It has to be 10 because that makes a whole 1. Christopher, page 521.
What number are you guys on?
This is number 10. Guys, you really need to pay attention because we can't keep going over that. Everybody's got to understand this.
I thought you wanted to.
All right, so 10 plus 5 is 15 over 10. Now I can subtract 15 minus 9 would be 6 over 10. And then 3 minus 1 is 2.
I still doesn't make any sense.
Please mute your mics. All right, let's go to 11. Number 11 is 4 and 1 over 8 minus 1 and 4 over 8. All right. Lillian, can I take 4 from 1? Lillian, can I take 4 from 1? No. So what do I have to do? Regroup. So I go to the 4 and I'm going to take 1 away. So this 4 becomes a 3. Okay? All right. If I take 1 away, I've got to add 1 to the fraction. So I've got to add 1. What do I know equals 1? Well, when I'm working with fractions, the denominator and the numerator that are the same equals 1. So now I've got 8 over 8 plus 1 over 8. So this 1 now becomes a 9 over 8. So now I've got 9 minus 4 is 5 over 8. And 3 minus 2, or 3 minus 1 is 2. So my answer is 2 and 5/8. My answer is 2 and 5/8. I know it's confusing. It's the first time you've ever done this. It's okay. All right, let's look at number 12. Number 12 was 6 minus 2 and 4/5. All right, can I subtract that 4/5 from nothing, Emmanuel? Emmanuel?
No?
No, I've got to have something to subtract it from, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how am I going to get something to subtract it from? What am I going to have to do?
Put the biggest number on top.
Okay, but where am I going to get that biggest number? What is it I have to do? Look at the steps. What is it I have to do? What's number 2?
Regroup.
Regroup. So when I regroup, I'm going to take 1 from that 6. So my 6 becomes a 5. Yep. Now, I could put a 1 over here, but that doesn't really help me. That's what I took from that 6. But let's put it in fraction. I already know the denominator is going to be 5 because this denominator is 5. And for me to subtract, I have to have like denominators. Okay? So, if I just want it to be equal to 1, what goes on the top?
5.
5. Now, can I subtract?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 minus 4 is what?
1.
1 over?
5.
And then I subtract my whole numbers. 5 minus 2 is?
3.
3. Very good. All right. Let's move to number 14. Number 14. All right. Number 14 says 9 and 2/4 minus 6 and 3/4. Yes, Lillian, what's your question?
For number 11, how did the 1 convert into a 9?
Because 8 over 8 plus 1 over 8 is 9 over 8. Because remember, you take 1 from the 4, a whole 1. If you take a whole 1, it's got to match your fraction that you already have, the denominator. So that's 8, right? The denominator on those fractions on number 11 is 8, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I need to make a 1, it'd be 8 over what? 8, right? Because 8 over 8's 1. So I've got 8 over 8 plus the 1 over 8 that I have. So that makes 9 over 8.
Okay.
All right. All right. So number 14. Number 14. Luciana. Can I take 3 from 2? Luciana. Luciana. All right, Miliani, you want to help me out?
I still did not get it.
Okay, well, you can help me out. Can I take 3 from 2? No. So what do I need to do?
You need to take some from the 9, I think.
I need to take some from where? Where am I going to take something from so that I can regroup?
9.
The 9. So the 9 becomes a what?
8.
8. Now, I took a 1 whole from that 9, right? All right. So that whole has the same denominator as the rest of my fractions, right? Okay. If I took a whole, what does the top or the numerator have to be that I took to equal 1?
2. Wait, no.
2 over 4 does not equal 1. What over 4 equals 1?
2. 3.
No, 3 over 4 does not equal 1. What over 4 is equal to 1? Miliani. Yeah, 4. Anything like 3 over 3 equals 1, 2 over 2 equals 1. Anything over itself equals 1. All right? So I've got 4 over 4. I'm going to add that to the 2/4 I already have. I'm adding that to the 2/4 I already have. So 2 plus 4 is what?
2 plus 4, 6.
6. So this 2 becomes a 6. So 6 minus 3 is?
Minus 3 plus 3.
3. What's it going to be over? What's the denominator?
Oh, 3.
No, what's my denominator on all my fractions?
4.
4. And now I can subtract my whole numbers. What's 8 minus 6? 2. So on number 14, you get 2 and 3/4. 2 and 3/4.
I know it sounds crazy.
It's okay. Like I said, it's new to you. All right, let's look at 15. Sarah, your answer to number 12 was 2 and 1/5. All right, we got 8 and 3/8 minus 3 and 5/8. So we got 8 and 3/5 minus 3 and 5/5. Let's see, who can I get to help me on this one? Jasmine. Jasmine.
Yes.
All right, let's look at this. Jasmine, can I take 5 out of 3?
No.
No. So what do I have to do?
Regroup it.
Regroup. So where do I go to regroup from?
The whole number.
The whole number. So my 8 becomes a what?
The 18.
Nope. I'm taking 1 from it, so it becomes a what?
7.
7. Now I'm adding 1 to the fraction. But I don't want to just say add 1, because then that would give me 1 and 3/8, and that's not helping me. So I need to say the denominator of my fraction is going to be 8 that I'm adding. What's the top going to be? I need something that equals 1. What over 8 equals 1? Okay, everybody listen again. Any number over itself equals 1. So 7 over 7 equals 1. 9 over 9 equals 1. 10 over 10 equals 1. 100 over 100 equals 1. Jasmine.
8 over 8.
8 over 8. There you go. All right, now I need to add this 8 over 8 to the 3 over 8 I already have. So 8 plus 3 is 11. I'm only writing down this for the purposes of adding. I don't need to use it for my subtraction problem. All right, now, Jasmine, 11 minus 5 is what?
6.
6. And what's it going to be over?
8.
8. And then we subtract our whole number. 7 minus 3 is? 4. So we get 4 and 6/8. All right, look at 16. We've got 7 minus 3 and a half. I can't take the half from 0, so I have to borrow or regroup. So this becomes a 6. This becomes a 2 over 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1 over 2. All right, I want everybody right now to work number 17. It's 15 and 1 over 6 minus 4 and 5 over 6. 15 and 1 over 6 minus 4 and 5 over 6. Work that on your own very quickly.
Ms. Blackmon,
Yes?
did we do number 16? Because I still don't get it.
Yeah, I just finished number 16.
I still don't get number 16.
All right. Do 17 for right now.
Okay.
All right. We need to look at, can we take 5 from 1? The answer to that is no. So we have to regroup. So this 15 becomes a 14. What am I going to add to my 1 over 6? I'm going to add 6 over 6 because that equals 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7. Again, this is only for the purpose of me adding. I don't need to use it anymore. 7 minus 5 is 2 over 6. 14 minus 4 is 10. Now we're going to look at one more. We're going to look at one more. Number 23 is 17 minus 2 and 1/8. 17 minus 2 and 1/8.
Ms. Blackmon, which one are you on?
I just skipped to number 23.
Let me see. Okay.
All right. Can I take 1/8 from nothing? Can I take 1/8 from nothing? No. So I have to borrow or regroup. So this becomes a 16. And then what am I going to add to that 0? 8 over 8. Because I know 8 over 8 equals 1. So 8 minus 1 is 7 over 8. And 16 minus 2 is 14. All right, guys, you have to get to ELA. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to come back on at about 11:30. No, you're going to ELA. I will be back on at 12:30. So from 12:30 to 1, if you do not understand it, you just hit this link and come back and I will help you with it. All right? What I want you to do, if you don't understand it and you're going to rejoin me, I want you to try to work the page 521. I want you to try to work the ones we didn't do.
Ms. Blackmon,
Yes,
do we have homework?
I'm working on that. All right, so you're going to work on 521 if you're going to come back with me. If you're not coming back, then you have page 523 to do for homework. Page 523 is your homework.
Ms. Blackmon, you said 12:30 to 1?
Yes.
What do we... You said you're going to come back at 12:30 to 1?
Yes,
And you're going to help us with anything else?
with this math.
When do we have lunch? With what? I
With
didn't...
with math
Okay.
that we did today.
All right. Ms. Blackmon,
Yes.
do we do the whole page of 523?
Yep. 523. There's 16 problems. You're doing the whole page. All right. Leon, did you ever join us? Leon? David? Andalise? Joshua? All right. All right. Guys, I know this is confusing. It's the first time you've had this. It's the first time we've walked through borrowing with fractions or regrouping with fractions. Just remember, when you borrow from a whole number, you're borrowing a whole number 1. Okay? That whole number 1 becomes whatever your denominator is, and the numerator is the exact same number as the denominator. So if the denominator is 12, your numerator is 12. That makes 1. If your denominator is 10, your numerator is 10. That makes 1. Lillian, what's your question?
Do we have homework, math homework?
Yes, page 523. Page 523, 1 through 16.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Blackmon, Miss Blackmon.
Yes.
Can you send the page 523 to my mom so she can print it out and I can do the homework?
She should have gotten it on Sunday when I sent the email out with all the pages on it. It's under lesson 9-10. 9-10. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. If she doesn't have it, Daniela, let me know and I'll resend it.
Okay.
All right.
Blackmon,
Yes, Salvador.
do we have science homework?
You have to work on the packet on incomplete and complete metamorphosis that I sent on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Miss Blackmon, we have to done today all of the packet.
No, you have today and tomorrow to finish that packet. All right? All right, guys. It's time to hang up because you need to go to ELA. So go to ELA, and when you come back, if you come back at 12:30, I will be back on. Just use the same link, okay?
Miss Blackmon,
Yes.
does ELA start at 11 or 11:30?
My understanding is 11:30.
Miss Blackmon? Okay.
All right?
Making sure. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, Emma.
Blackmon? So, like, my mom usually gets it for me, but she's at the office clinic with my sister trying to take her cast off.
Uh-huh.
So then, like, I don't know how to get to it.
How to get to what?
To get to it, because
To get to what, Emma?
for Miss Quinones, because, like,
She should have sent you a link.
this belongs to my dad.
Okay. Then she should have sent mom or dad an email with a link in it. I don't have that link. You know how you just clicked on the email to get onto mine? There should be an email from Miss Kionis that you need to click on to get onto hers. All right, guys, y'all need to hang up and go to ELA. I will see you either in a little bit or I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
All right, and for the video, I went over the answers for page 517, which was your homework last night. I will go over them again. Number 1 was 6 and 1/12, or it could have been 5 and 13/12. 6 and 1/12, or 5 and 13/12. Number 2 was 7 and 9/8, or 8 and 1/8. 7 and 9/8, or 8 and 1/8. Number 3 would have been 9 and 6/10. 9 and 6/10. Number 4 is 10 and 5/6. 10 and 5/6. Number 5 would have been 9 and 11/12. 9 and 11/12. Number 6 would have been 4 and 3/5. 4 and 3/5. Number 7 would have been 5 and 19 twelfths, 5 and 19 over 12. Or if you changed it, it was 6 and 7 twelfths, 6 and 7 twelfths. Number 8 would have been 15 and 7 sixths, 15 and 7 sixths. Or it could have been 16 and 1 sixth if you changed it, 16 and 1 sixth. Number 9 is 6 and 5 fourths, 6 and 5 over 4. Or it could have been 7 and 1 fourth if you changed it, 7 and 1 fourth. Number 10 was 14 and 11 over 10, 14 and 11 over 10, or it could have been 15 and 1 over 10. You could have changed it to 15 and 1 over 10. Number 11 would have been 8 and 13 over 12, 8 and 13 over 12. Or you could have changed it and it would have been 9 and 1 over 12, 9 and 1 over 12. Number 12 would have been 38 and 16 over 12, 38 and 16 over 12. Or you could have changed it to 39 and 4 over 12, 39 and 4 over 12. We did move on to subtracting fractions today, where we had to regroup. So please remember that you do have to regroup when you subtract fractions sometimes. If the numerator is smaller on the top than it is on the bottom, you must regroup. And then you would subtract the fractions and subtract the whole numbers. I've shown several examples. If you need additional help, I will be back on between 12:30 and 1 to help you with those.